For those that are unfamiliar with me, my name is Harper Wagner. I serve as the Director of Business Transformation at YRCI. One of the things that I bring forward to those that are interested are HeartMath sessions. And this is a series of weekly sessions that we've been honoring Stress Awareness Month in April, and in May we have Mental Health Awareness Month. HeartMath offers science-backed, proven techniques that help to create a state of what's called coherence between the heart and the brain. And when we're out of balance and more in our brain, more in our head, that's oftentimes where stress and other type of depleting emotions, worry, anger, frustration, are coming out of, usually, not all the time, out of something that is a story that we're telling ourselves, and creates a ripple effect into our emotional body. We pick it up into our physical body, and then it's a loop. So we'll start our session today with a practice that most of you are now familiar with, heart-focused breathing. This is a core practice and a core technique to many of HeartMath's other techniques. And I'll walk you through this first, and then we'll practice. And ask you to place your attention in the area of the heart, which is here in the middle of your chest. You can place your hand on the middle of your chest just to help you draw attention to it. And then I'm going to ask you to imagine your breath flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual, usually 4 to 6 seconds out, 4 to 6 seconds in. And that's the practice. If your mind wanders, you can bring your attention back, and I'll remind you to do that when we get into it. And you can do this eyes open or closed. The more you practice it, the more you can practice with your eyes open. So you can do this on the go. When you're interacting with people that may bring up a story or may bring up we'll say a triggered reaction that closes one's heart. It's really what's happening. And then we become unresourceful. Talk a little bit about that. And welcome, Robin. So we're just getting ready to practice heart-focused breathing. Eyes open or closed, camera on or off, whatever your preference. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So focus your attention in the area of the heart. Imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area. Breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Find an easy rhythm that's comfortable. Mind wanders, bring your attention back to your heart, to your breath. Notice what you experienced. And in the chat, if you want to enter in a description of your experience, you may. Let's continue to keep your attention here and this practice of heart-focused breathing while listening to someone speak. for example. This is a great practice. You can practice heart focused breathing, eyes open, driving, walking. Um, the more we can find ourselves centered in our heart with our attention placed there and deeper breaths, this will keep us out of our head. I mentioned that earlier. The head is it's great for rationalizing, great for simulation, great for problem solving. And sometimes the simulations that the head carries out isn't actually accurate. We create stories about what may happen, what did happen, things that we may or may not have control over, creating a reaction in our emotional body that may or may not be beneficial to us. So the more we can practice being in our heart and knowing what that feels like, really anchoring in the feeling of calmness, relaxation, and that starts to become our baseline for operating. It takes practice. So the more we can practice taking these 10, 15 minutes every week, the more likely we can return back to the sensation, return back to the experience of calmness, centeredness, relaxation. And I've shared this in previous sessions. The hardest thing to do is to remember to stop and do something different. And we're learning that these techniques, heart focused breathing, extremely simple. All it takes is a split second decision to be like, oh, wait a second, I know this feeling. I'm feeling constriction, and that's for me the indicator. I feel constricted inside. I don't feel like I would if I'm in a coherent state. So that incoherence creates constriction. It feels chaotic and frenzied. It feels like I'm draining energy. So I know that when I'm in a coherent state, and we think about that sine wave, when we graph the heartbeats over time, the speeding up and slowing down of the heart, it is in an orderly state. That is in a coherent state. And it looks like a spring. If we look at the spring, like a slinky, if you want to think about it like that, that slinky is, there's power there, there's potential there. That sine wave is powerful, but when it's in a chaotic state, it's not as powerful. It doesn't look the same. It looks like it could break. That's what's happening inside of us. That's what the graph is telling us, is that we're not as whole, we're not as powerful when we're in that frenzied state. So when we feel like we're draining our energy, we're losing our power, we actually are. We're not in a coherent state. We can't be creative. We're in a reactive state. Just knowing that feeling when we're practicing heart-focused breathing. And just a reminder here to breathe in 4 to 6 seconds, breathe out 4 to 6 seconds, keeping that attention in the heart. The more we can remember just to go back to the breath, go back to the heart. That's all we need to do to regain our state, maybe get an idea, get some type of insight into how to move forward if that's what you're looking for. From that place in the heart, we can up-level essentially our consciousness and be able to see things differently, get a new perspective. I place my attention in my heart and imagine my breath is flowing in and out. That's my practices. I feel myself going into my head when I'm speaking. I just can bring it back to the heart. I actually notice that there's a difference in my voice. Think about the going up. I speak higher when I'm in my head. I actually hear it in the tone of my voice. Different quality when I'm in my heart, when I'm in my body. Someone that's generally mental, thinking through things, problem solving, kind of what I do all day. This is a nice practice to balance out. Most of us here are thought workers, right? We're solving problems. We're in our head. So a reminder to set reminders to nudge you to get into your heart as often as possible. And attention back to our heart and to our breath, trying to sink into our body in that way. Feel what it's like, perhaps in your toes. Wiggle your toes, while also trying to maintain awareness of the heart and the breath. You can have multiple points of awareness. Takes a little practice sometimes. And as we continue this heart focused practice, I'm going to add in a layer of appreciation. Appreciation is a higher vibration emotion, and we can will ourselves to appreciate things. We start to become, I'll say, masters of our universe. At least that's my experience. We can start to appreciate things and raise our vibration around them, and then attract more of that in our life. It's something that many of you have likely experienced, and a lot of resources out there talk about this, but a great gratitude and appreciation. There is an attractive quality to it. So let's focus our attention in the area of the heart. Imagine our breath is flowing in and out of our heart or chest area. Breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Inviting you to find one thing in your life that you can appreciate. Opening up your heart in appreciation to that one thing. Keep that appreciation going. If there's something you'd like to enter into the chat, that one thing that you appreciate, being able to share into groups, powerful experience, appreciating YRCI, the opportunity to be able to offer HeartMath and to extend I'll say, the blessing that it's offered me to others. Hold that appreciation as long as possible, even if you're typing. Yeah, the sunshine. Yeah, thank you, Karina. The people I'm working with. Yeah, Beverly. Nice. They're nice. Yeah, life. Thank you, Tracy. Excellent. Glad you can sleep, Jackie. Yeah. I appreciate the appreciation. All right. Thank you all. I do appreciate you. If you didn't show up, I'd be doing it by myself, and it wouldn't be that fun. That much fun anyway. So thank you. Wishing you all a wonderful week ahead.